Postmaster General, fellow Postmasters, and welcome guests. As far back as I can remember, the mystique of the night has always fascinated me. As the sun sinks on the horizon and darkness descends, my mood shifts to one of expectation. I long for the predictability of the day to be replaced by the unpredictability of the night. When the day has its routines, its dull, methodical sameness, the evening is filled with infinite possibilities. A good book, a close encounter with a friend, a romantic exchange, a luxurious moment of doing nothing. As a young child, I was always fascinated as I watched my mother get ready to go out in the evening. Just visualize this. I felt this air of excitement as I watched her preparations. She gazed in her jewelry box and tried to select just the right jewelry for the evening's entertainment. She lingered longer than was absolutely necessary, savoring the moment. A completely different mood prevailed than the early morning preparations before going to work. Before going to work, things were rushed, and efficiency was uppermost in her mind. Her sentences were short and staccato, the products of a hurried, preoccupied mind. Both times I would sit on the stairs and watch her leave. Yet in the morning it was more like saying goodbye to someone whose mind had already raced ahead. And the departing body was merely the last remains. In the evening, the pace was slow, and the farewell was more drawn out. The same acts were performed in a completely different manner. As a child, I was puzzled by the differences. In my mind, the night belonged to the adults. Children went to bed, adults dressed enthusiastically, and hurried into the mysterious world of the dark, leaving only a faint scent of lilac perfume and a babysitter behind. Later, as I got older, when I became 12, I started to stuff towels around the door to hold out the light so my mother couldn't see me reading late into the night. And this felt like tiptoeing into this strange and new world. But it wasn't quite enough, because it didn't really take you into the transformative elixir of the night. And I wanted something more. I imagined that you had to be out with adults or with friends to really experience the magic of the night. So at 14, my opportunity finally came. I was sitting around a card table with a group of boys, and one of them threw out the idea that we should stay up all night and watch the sunrise. This was my opportunity. This was my chance. Now, the boys were slightly older than me, a couple years older. So I was surprised by the invitation, because I associated myself as being the younger sister that kind of hung around. And so it was exciting to be invited, in addition. But as the night wore on, they got wearier and wearier, and the numbers dwindled down. There were only 3 guys, and we stand as we got closer and closer to the time and the sunrise. We decided we would walk to Lake Michigan, because we were in Chicago, and we were only 10 minutes from the lake. And we would watch the sun rise over the lake. And we were down to 3 guys, one of whose name was Casper. And he was the guy that I had a crush on, so this was exciting. Here I was, out in the night with this guy that I had a crush on. The conversation changed too, surprisingly. They started to tell me things that I'd never known. They'd never revealed in the day, like the girls that they had crushes on. And they were unlikely suspects, as many teenage romances are. We think, now how could he ever really like that? And then I would think, when Casper told me about the girl, and then I thought, well, at least she hasn't stayed up. So that was my sweet piece of that. And then I thought, well, now they're probably expecting me to tell them who I have a crush on, but this is a little awkward. So I skipped over, changed the subject. So then as we walked out, watching the sun come up, it was beautiful, but they didn't say anything. And I took my cues from them because I was younger. But it was, the whole thing was so dreamlike, it was was beautiful. I was out there in the night. But while it was my dream, it was my mother's worst nightmare. Because while I was having this dream, she was having a nightmare imagining me murdered and thrown into the forest preserve, which is what they do in Chicago, the dead bodies. What you would do is I would sneak in and get there. Since I was in a family of 4, I thought maybe my comings and goings could be overlooked. But as I snuck up the stairs, I heard this voice. It was, "Ruth?" And I thought, oh no. And I realized from this pale face that she too had been up all night. And I felt very guilty, but I was silently triumphant too, because I thought, I finally explored the mysteries of the night. I discovered the nocturnal world operates differently. I uncovered the deep charm of the night. It's a time for revelations. The dark screen that shuts out the day evokes its own aura, where secrets are spoken, new layers of the self are revealed. The dark screen that shuts out the day evokes its own aura, where secrets are spoken, new layers of the self are exposed. The night seeps into the souls of people, creeping through their veins like a truth serum, compelling them to disclose things they never dreamed of revealing. Even the dress in the evenings is revealing. Black evening gowns with spaghetti straps, clothing that suggests that significant emotions will also be uncovered. With the promise of greater intimacy comes the promise of greater appreciation. The night becomes the muse who beckons and draws us into the realm of intimacy is possible, probable, and even perhaps irresistible.